So this is the burner assembly, and just to show you how this is positioned and how this part of it works. If you fold your heater over, you're going to be looking at a burner that looks basically identical to this. You're going to see this located under the burner. It's mounted to the burner, but in this case we don't have that for convenience sake. This is called a pilot assembly, and the pilot tube runs up here into this nut, compression nut, and up inside there's a thing that looks like a looks like a thimble, a sewing thimble, and that's the actual pilot orifice or pilot jet. Okay, so that's located up inside here, and then the tube feeds that, and the flame comes out here. This is an electrode, okay, and it supplies a spark to the gas, and the spark is supplied by this, which is the automatic pilot igniter. Okay, so that's it. Yeah. One of the things to keep in mind is the position of the thermocouple. This is the thermocouple, and it is positioned right here. And as you can see, the flame comes into contact with the thermocouple down in this area here, which is about 1/3 the way down. Okay, not at the tip, but down here, and that way it heats everything up nicely. Sometimes the thermocouple can just drop down a little bit. Maybe, you know, it vibrated or something, it gets down like this. And when that happens, when the system is firing, the flame could lift up off the thermocouple conceivably, and that could cause it to cool down enough to let the flame go out. Now that's not typical because thermocouple takes about 30 seconds to cool down, but just to let you know what, you know, I always suggest that you push that up as high as it'll go. Just check that, like a routine maintenance thing, just to check and make sure that everything's positioned properly. The thermocouple, what it does is it actually generates electricity, and that's a minute amount of electricity, but it well, let me get a gas valve over here. I got a used one that's convenient for now, that'll work. Thermocouple screws into this point right here on the gas valve. Okay, so it screws in just like that. Okay, there's a solenoid right here that it screws into, and so when you push this button down, the solenoid is held open mechanically by you, and then it's held open electrically when there's enough current in here for this to hold it shut. Okay, so when you release this, it should remain engaged if the thermocouple is hot. Okay, which is how you light the heater, by holding this in for about 30 seconds once the pilot is lit. The knob has a red indicator point, okay, and that shows you where everything actually is pointed to. Here it says pilot pointed that way, so you can see if you turn this knob at all, it won't go down. It's got to be in that position in order to push all the way down to the pilot position. Once it's lit, you hold it down for about 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, 20 seconds or so. Wait, and in that time the thermocouple is heating up. When you release it, thermocouple should stay hot, should keep the solenoid open, the pilot should stay lit, and then you turn this to the on position and you're good to go. On the front of the machine there's a preheat button, and when you push that button, the pilot's lit, the heater's going to come on and fire. That's what you want. So you'll know because this puts out a spark about every half second, and it stops putting out a spark when the pilot's lit. So if you release the button on the gas valve, and this ticking that you can hear audibly, if the ticking stops, then the pilot stayed lit. So if the ticking remains off, but if it starts back as soon as you let your finger off, the pilot did not stay lit, and you just start the procedure over again. Shouldn't have to do that more than once, but sometimes it could happen that, you know, maybe more than once. Not common. And one other thing that can have an effect is the thermocouple could get like a little bit of a residue, like soot around it. Soot may not be the right word to use, but that can reduce the thermocouple's sensitivity to the heat that it's sensing and transferring into electrical current. So from time to time, you might want to clean this just lightly with some very fine steel wool, Brillo pad or something, just to clean this off to maintain its sensitivity, and then put it back in here. You can actually do that, of course, when it's still mounted. You don't have to take it out to do that, but I was thinking out loud when I said it just now. So thermocouple, pilot assembly, electrode, pilot jet. That's it. We'll make a little bit more videos as I think of more things to talk about for you. But I think this will give you a pretty good understanding of the burner system. And if not, if you have any questions, I will answer them, put them up as a video so that you have a record of them. I think a video owner's manual will probably be a good thing to do with today's technology. But in the meantime, that's all for now.